in the past we've done a lot of really cool festival gigs and played with a lot of cool bands like Lynyrd Skynyrd and Foreigner, and I'm just trying to think of some of the ones. We did rap shows. We used to do like with Chaos and Fat Joe, stuff like that, which was we'd be the only rock band. And then we see it at one time, they locked their keys in their Suburbans, and then they couldn't get into it. I'm like, huh? You have street cred if you're like in a rap band, you can't even break into your own Suburban. It's like you'd think that would be like a 5-second sort of deal there, but yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the All Music Matters in That podcast. I'm your host, Brian. And today I welcome a special guest from the West Coast up there in British Columbia. It's our boy, Jeff Elwood. How you doing today, brother?
Doing great, Brian. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Good to have you on here too. And actually, it's been a while since I just interviewed people who just do drums, but I guess you're part of some bands, actually?
Some bands, yeah. I play in 3 currently, but, I do a lot of different projects. But right now I'm in like a cover band that's mostly like dance and 80s pop type of stuff, and then I play an original hard rock band. I've been in that band since 2001, and I'm also currently in a Pink Floyd tribute band called Floyd Machine.
So you keep yourself busy, so at least keeps you out of trouble there too.
Yeah, you have to be in a few bands to keep working out here. Unless you want to tour and stuff like that. But if you want to just be busy in town, you have to have a few projects going on.
Gotta pay the man somehow, as they would say.
Yeah.
So, I guess what you've been up to recently? I guess you do any sort of shows recently with your tribute and cover bands?
Yeah, I'm pretty busy with that. I got one the Pink Floyd one on August 18th. Those ones are like kind of bigger shows, so they're more like a monthly or every couple months type of a thing. We're kind of like a theater act, and the cover band stuff is my bread and butter. I do that more often than the other ones. And then the other band's called Life. We're just recording a new album right now.
That's good to hear. And it seems like you're friends with a good amount of drummers from the drum tuber community, or I guess really our drumming community in general. I guess Rich Raw Dog drums and those sorts of drummers as well.
Yeah, I was actually a lot more active a few years ago on YouTube. I was fairly active of uploading covers and stuff like that. But, lately I just really haven't had the time the last few years because of just actively playing and this and that. And I'm doing some projects, like I'm currently in a documentary, and then I recently just got endorsed by Pearl. So they brought me out to Nashville and set me up with a new drum kit and a matching wheelchair and set of Sabians and that. So I'm doing sort of things in the background with them, and then also like with the new recording of the new album and stuff like that. But I'm going to start doing it again because it's been a little while, it's especially with the new drum kit. They're wanting me to upload content now, so I'll be a lot more active coming up in the next little while.
Was that what you used to do your recent drum cover, Rush's Limelight?
Yeah, that's one I played for years back in the day. I haven't for maybe 10 years or so, but back when I was playing in cover bands in the 2010s, and I know quite a few Rush songs because it's my favorite drummer. So they asked me to do that one one of the guys at Pearl's a huge Rush fan, and he runs Alex Lifeson's Instagram. So he arranged for us to be able to actually use the song. So, because you have to get permission from Anthem Records and that kind of thing for promotional and stuff like that, as opposed to just a YouTube cover. So that's why they picked that, I think. But yeah, that was, it was kind of nerve-wracking too, because I was only there for a couple of days, and being in a wheelchair, I need a strictly my kit needs to be a certain way because I'm paralyzed from the chest down, and I can't use my body to adjust for things that are either too far or not in the right spot, because I have to belt myself in, because being such a high break, I can't put 2 hands out in front of myself or else I'll fall over. So I have to wear a belt that sort of holds me up so that I can use both hands. And it kind of puts you in a very small plane of space to be able to move your arms and to be able to reach things. So, those guys, their techs there were amazing, because all I did was just send them some measurements in an overhead schematic, and about within an hour they had that kit playable. And then when I did the video, the last part of it, they put you on like a turntable, like literally like a turntable for a record. And that was what was done first. And they just said, just play, just pantomime, just play around, whatever. But I knew that I had to do the Limelight song the next day to record it. So I wanted to do some practicing on it as opposed to just playing something random. So I played the song just to my headphones, and then they were able to use that to splice into the second part of the video, which sort of worked out well. And I got to, do a little warm up for the next day, because I didn't really get a lot of time to actually play the kit.
Yeah, I watched it actually last night, and it looked like it was sort of your drum cover, and then it also kind of jumped in between. I guess, was that what they were putting your wheelchair together and all the other measurements and everything to make sure you're all set up? That's
well,
what I saw
yeah. See, the wheelchair, what I did is I sent them the serial numbers, because it's ProMobile who built it, and I actually have a ProMobile wheelchair already. And so that's another thing where the measurements have to be exactly perfect, especially like with the angles, or else I'll fall off balance. So I need it to be like perfect in order to play well. So these guys, they actually are from Washington. They brought a guy in from Washington with the chair, and they had that thing like perfect in about 15 minutes, which was really crucial. I could have used my old chair as a backup, but and then another thing is I have I call it my rock and roll girdle, but it's like a belt that I made out of Velcro and seat belts that I've been using since 2001. And, it's great, like for what it is, but they wanted me to use Pearl products to make a belt out of, so that they want me to use all of their products, obviously. So they had sent me, it's a marching drum carrier. It's like their VP, when he was talking to me, he said, well, can you make something out of this marching drum carrier? And it goes over your shoulders. And I was thinking, well, that's not really going to work, because I need something to hold me up as opposed to lift me up, because I need to have mobility with my arms and whatnot. So they sent me a couple of them, and he said, just, take it apart, cut it up, do whatever you want to do, try and make this thing. And it turns out that the plate that they have for the front of it was absolutely perfect. First of all, what I did is I just put it in my existing belt, and then wrapped it around it, and that was already an improvement. And then I got a neighbor of mine who's like master mechanic. He used to work on the Swiss racing team as a pit crew guy and that. And I just brought it over there, and he just eyeballed it, and he bent it exactly to the right shape of my torso. And then I took one of the pieces from the frame and screwed it onto the top of it, and that holds the Velcro belts from sliding up, because that's one of the things that happens. It slides up, and then it's no longer, it's the plate moves, and it's not holding me up any longer. So, I just did a bit of playing around with that, and ended up making a belt that's like, 5 times better than the existing one. So I was pretty great and surprised that it actually worked, because I was thinking, I can't have something that sort of holds my shoulders, right? That's what I thought that device was. But upon taking it apart, I was able to use the parts to make a much better belt than I already had, so that was pretty cool. Because it's always a constant fight for me. That's the hardest part of playing, is the balancing part, by quite a long margin, because you always feel like you're tilting this way, and then I can't straighten up. You know what I mean? Like you're kind of like using your neck to try and balance yourself out, and depending on which side of the drum kit you're playing, so it's really important that I'm balanced right in the middle for, especially if I'm playing long gigs and stuff like that. Like a lot of the cover band ones are, 2 hour-and-a-half long sets and stuff like that. So if you're pretty much have to be comfortable to do that kind of stuff.
That's for sure. And we also salute again to the neighbor who helped you out there too. So.
Yeah, he's the coolest guy. Yeah. And he did it for free. So it's like, hey, just a bottle of wine. There you go.
Double whammy. So yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So I think the whole thing could also tie in with your backstory here a little bit too, especially how you did end up in the wheelchair. So I guess we'll go ahead and start there. So tell the audience a little bit about yourself. Who are you? How'd you become a drummer?
Well, I was mostly into sports as a kid, motocross and hockey and stuff like that. But in 1983, I got into drumming, and I joined a band with my current uh, band member. Well, I've been in a band with him since 2001, and then I was in a band with him in 1983. And that's the guy that he's the lead singer and songwriter in my band Life. That's the one we're currently recording the album for. And so anyways, that was 1983 until about 1989. I was playing drums, and then I was racing that year in the 250 class, and it was the end of the year. We were already finished everything, and I lived in Winnipeg, Manitoba at the time, which is like coldest place you could ever imagine living. And it was October 28th, and my bike was already packed up, ready to go into the basement for storage, for the winter. And then it just so happened to be 28 degrees Celsius outside. I'm not sure what that is Fahrenheit, but really warm. And so a friend of mine said, "Hey man, let's just want to go out for one last haul." I went, sure. We'll go back out there, and went out, and first lap, going around the track, and there had been some quads riding on there that day. And I guess it's a sand quarry. So there's like a lot of stray rocks, like not really boulders, but say football size stuff and a bit smaller. And there's one spot where there's a plateau where you go in fourth gear wide open, you kind of fly off the top, and then you just nicely sail to the bottom, and nice soft landing if you hit it like you normally did, or how I did the last 500 times before that. And there's a rock sticking out on the top of it, and I steered around it, no problem. And then thinking it wasn't going to be a big deal, but my back wheel nailed it, and it just sent me endoing over the handlebars. And I landed, instead of on the way down, I landed on the flat part, and it was like 3 stories, and I was going 80 kilometers an hour. So it was like a massive impact, and just snapped my back, T5. It felt like my legs were floating up. I was like looking back, and the wheel was right by my head, spinning full open. So I thought, I'll just reach out to turn the thing off. And all of a sudden I couldn't sit up because I'm paralyzed from the chest down. I have no stomach. And then it felt like my legs were floating. Right then I knew like something very drastic had happened, So, and then my partner behind me almost landed on me because he was right behind me and flew off the jump and just missed me. And then, he's trying to pick me up. And I was like, "Oh, don't move me," because, I knew I was paralyzed. I knew because it hurt really bad for one and couldn't move. And then we were way off in a sand pit, which is like way, way away from any type of human contact, so he had to go, I could hear him way off in the distance with his bike whining wide open on the highway, just going to get some people. And then it seemed like not too long of a period of time, and the ambulance came, but they had to try and dig me out of the sand. So they had this board that sort of comes up or it clicks together underneath you. Then they picked me up and put me on a quad and drove me out. And then I went to this little dinky hospital, and it's called Pine Falls in Manitoba, this little small town. And I was on the x-ray table, and just with all my gear on still and everything strapped on there. And I hear this, buzzing noise from the x-ray table. And the nurse, she starts going, "Oh no, oh no." I'm like, "What do you mean, oh no?" And the thing starts tilting like this. And it tilted all the way up, and I went flying onto the floor, like right off the x-ray table. So immediately they came in, they just picked me up and brought me into Winnipeg, which is about an hour away. That's like in Manitoba, the biggest city there. And and pretty much right away, they told me that it was very severe and that I probably wouldn't walk again. So that's how that went down. And then I was in the hospital for about 3 months. And when I got out, I started doing like wheelchair racing and stuff like that pretty much right away. And I spent I was a sheet metal worker, so I was in the union, and I got like a small settlement or whatever. So I spent all that on a brand new IROC Z, and didn't even leave any money for a proper wheelchair. But so yeah, and then I sort of went on from there, and I immediately started trying to get back into drums. My friend John, who I told you about, who's like still in my band today, and another best friend of mine who's an electrician, we made a electric pedal, like out of a Tama kick pedal with a solenoid, and so that it would actually operate the belt drive on the thing, and then made a mouse switch. But I electrocuted my face a couple times because all we were doing for a mouse switch is we just took a hockey mouth guard and put copper wiring in it. And then I would just contact it, with my teeth. And it was like, I just jolted myself. And then we thought maybe it was just a little wire adjustment. So I did it again. And then we tried many different mouse switches, like for about a 10-year period, trying to get it right. But the thing is, with the mechanical nature of it, it was electrical, but mechanical. It was clunky and there was lag. And, the mouse switch wasn't great. I ended up getting one made by an orthodontist with a tiny piezoelectric trigger, like a little tiny thing, like you could barely, like maybe 2 millimeters by half a millimeter thick, and I had it embedded in there and kind of worked, but then I ended up cracking my tooth, and it was just, and then it started on fire. So that didn't help either. Yeah. So that was around the time when I got asked to play in a church band for the University of British Columbia. And I was like, I don't think I can do it because of this device is kind of crappy and, I'm not sure how it's going to work. But anyways, I gave it a try, and that's when I actually brought it out there and the thing started on fire. And I was like, well, obviously that's not going to work, but they had a bunch of drum kits set up there. So I just went behind one of the drum kits that they had set up, and I just sort of did a basic beat, like on the floor tom, the snare drum, like just with my right hand, like do, and I just went like light bulb moment. I'm like, why don't I just take that floor tom, stick it on the left side, then I can play the hi-hats normal. I can play the kick drum with my hand and the snare with my hand. And there you go. And I just so happened to have one of my friends had moved from Winnipeg to Kelowna, where I live now, and needed to store his drum kit. So I had it in my basement. So I was able just to go home and set that up. And then 2 weeks later, I was playing in front of about 100 people. And then I just immediately started doing recordings, and that was that. Pretty much started right away. And that would have been in 2000. So that's like about 26 years ago now.
I'm so sorry to hear that, Pete. And just, I guess it was one of those things, really. Our nature.
It happens.
Yeah.
Motocross is not a safe sport, right?
Clearly. So, I guess, how was it in the beginning? Did you kind of have that depression, and then did your friends and family really help you out?
Oh yeah, my friends and family were amazing. Yeah, and they had like a big social for me, like all my friends, from back in the day, all my hockey friends, all my school friends and stuff like that. They were great. Especially my family, they still are, and so that helped out a lot. Plus I was, young enough and resilient enough to sort of get going on stuff right away, and joining a wheelchair track. Like when I was in the hospital, the rehab part of it, basically they tell you everything wrong, like how to get into your chair from the ground, how to get into the tub, all the different things that you have to do. They just, because they have able-bodied people trying to show you. So it's ridiculous. Like it just didn't work. But then going into the wheelchair sports, those guys are like the ultimate, like not just athletes, but they can do everything to the extreme. So they just immediately said, forget everything, and here's how you do everything. So that kind of happened like really, really quickly, which was, a really short learning curve as opposed to having to go years to figure everything out, So that was also helpful, And then I was traveling right away with the wheelchair track team and stuff. So you kind of just get broken into, because the weird part about it is, seeing people that you haven't seen before and they don't know you're in a wheelchair. Like I remember one of the guys I used to play hockey against, and the year before we actually got in a hockey fight, like in one of the games there. Yeah. And we're buddies. Like after you get kicked out, you go and hang out in his dressing room. Like we're friends and that. And I remember going to a dog show. They when you're in the hospital, they go, okay, we're going to do a little outing with all the wheelchair people, So we went to a dog show, and I seen him there. He's like, what's going on, man? And like he just was blown away, because how would he know, right? It's not like nowadays where everything's on Facebook. People, the only way anyone would find out is if you bumped into him at the bar or, somewhere in the community, kind of a thing. So there was things like that that were kind of strange, And then, of course, you're self-conscious because, everything's different, and you think everyone's staring at you and stuff which they probably are, because why? Who wouldn't? You're noticeable. It's just the way it is. You can't be offended by it. It's just one of those things, you know what I mean? It's just but it was a weird adjustment, I would say, you know. But the thing about me is being young enough and doing everything. Like I went to like rock festivals. I used to go camping. I used to go snowmobiling and all that kind of stuff. So I jumped into it pretty much right away, which helps sort of, you know what I mean? The wheelchairiness never goes away, right? Because everything's such a pain in the ass. It's like to do something fun. It's like so much more extra work and preparation that you kind of weigh, well, how fun is that? Is it really worth doing all that kind of stuff? You know what I mean? So, you know, and plus these days I don't do so much snowmobiling or quadding anymore because I have some shoulder injuries. Recently I got 3 complete tears of my right shoulder tendons. I got the proximal bicep is completely torn, so it's like a Popeye arm. It just, my bicep just curled up. And then I got my supraspinatus, the one right here, is completely torn, and then infraspinatus on the back. So like I can't raise, that's as far as my arm goes. So with playing, but especially on this side, like riding and stuff like that, it feels like you're holding up like a 10-pound weight all the time because those muscles that hold your arm up aren't there anymore. So the ones underneath have to sort of push it up, you know, stuff like that. So I can't afford any more injuries. You know, I'd rather play drums than do a crappy job at quadding and snowmobiling and almost dying every time, you know? Because every time I go out, there's some incident where it's like, ooh, that could have ended badly, you know?
A story of your life, whatever you think about it.
Yeah.
All right. But once again, sorry to hear that, mate, but we also salute everybody who's helped you out there too. So,
yeah.
All right. So I guess back then in your youth, did your parents really encourage you to take up an instrument, whether it was maybe brass, a string instrument, or percussion?
Yeah, they did. I actually played saxophone for a couple years in junior high. And then, you know, when I started to play drums, like they encouraged it. But the thing about playing drums is you're the house where everyone jams at. So yay for them. And we were all into like, it was the 80s and we were into like Iron Maiden and Judas Priest and all that stuff. And they're like, what is that? You know what I mean? And super loud and, you know, heavy for the day. Right. So they weren't huge fans of that kind of music. They actually are now. They have sort of come around, you know, all these years later. But, you know, back then I kind of had to schedule practices when they weren't home. And I would practice my drums just on my own, like before they came home from work. So I just rip home from school and jump on my kit for a couple hours, you know, and just do it whenever I could, you know. But they were good. I got to say, they put up with a lot, you know. My dog used to cover his ears and the whole bit, you know.
Yeah, dogs can only take so much with the noise.
Yeah.
But I guess, did you really get influenced by some of like the Canadian, I'd call them the Canadian trios, which was like Rush, Triumph, those sorts of guys? I don't know if I think Anvil was a Canadian metal band as well.
Anvil was, yeah. They were kind of like unknown for a while until they had like a documentary came out about maybe 10, 15 years ago. But yeah, I was my drum teacher that's how I got into Rush, was massive fan. And that's like, I was immediate Rush fan, especially as soon as they started playing drums. And Neil's always been my biggest influence, you know. His middle name is Elwood too. I didn't even know that till a few years ago. I was like, what? That's his middle name? How could I not know that for like 40 years or whatever, you know? But yeah, and Triumph as well. As a matter of fact, a couple of my friends are touring with them right now, like in the band. Todd Kearns and Brent Fitz. They're Todd's from Saskatchewan. My band used to open up for him back in the day, and he also plays in Slash's band, the Conspirators. I'm not sure if you heard of them. It's Slash's like independent band, but they play with all kinds of people. They play with like what's his name, Michael Monroe from I'm having a hard time. What's their name again? Hanaway Rocks. You know, Dead Daisy, stuff like that. You know, they're always busy. You know, but yeah, Rush I've always been a massive fan of Rush.
I guess was it some of your friends that kind of introduced you to Rush? I'd be like, hey, here's this band called Rush. Check this out. It's killer music. Like Fly By Night was probably like the big one.
Yeah. Moving pictures.
Movie pictures.
Yeah. Fly By Night was the first one with Neil on it. They actually had their first album with John Retzi before Neil was actually really good, but it wasn't that, prog sort of style. It was more, it was still great music, but just not, which is kind of ironic because the very last song that Neil Peart ever played live was Working Man off that album that he didn't even write. Kind of a weird fun fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so. Still a killer song nonetheless. Yeah.
Still a killer song. Yeah, totally. Yeah. But I've always been a huge Rush fan, so that's why I thought it was so cool that they allowed us to use that song. It's kind of cool. And I made a documentary too right now that has Rick Allen and Steve Jordan and Todd Sucherman. So I got to meet Todd Sucherman last November and did an interview with him in Winnipeg. Now that guy, wow! If you want to see someone like who is just a beast, that when you see them in person, you're like, man, I don't care how much I ever practice. There's no way that's ever going to happen. He's just so good. It's unbelievable. When you see someone who's like a truly elite drummer like that, you see them on YouTube as one thing, or you see videos, but when you see them in person like that, it's like, whoa, he's something else,
That's for sure. So, I guess go ahead and talk about some of the groups you're a part of. So I know you mentioned about your cover and tribute band. So your band Life, I guess.
Yeah.
Go ahead and talk about that.
Okay. Well, like I said, we're like a hard rock band. We've been together for about 20 years or so, or I guess we formed in 2002, so 24 years. But we've had a few lineup changes throughout the years, but it's always been myself and John, the guy I told you about there. We've always been like together with that. And, we've had about, I don't know, 3 CDs, not a lot because, we've taken time off to actually, for money purposes, do the cover band thing for a while. So you get too busy. It's really hard to focus on that. But, in the past, we've done a lot of really cool festival gigs and played with a lot of cool bands like Lynyrd Skynyrd and Foreigner. And I'm just trying to think of some of the ones. We did rap shows. We used to do like with Chaos and Fat Joe, stuff like that, which was, we'd be the only rock band. And then we see it at one time, they locked their keys in their Suburbans and then they couldn't get into it. I'm like, huh? You have street cred if you're like in a rap band, you can't even break into your own Suburban. It's like you'd think that would be like a 5-second sort of deal there, but yeah. So we did like I said, lots of really cool gigs and shows on our own, stuff like that, and we still do. But now we're going to refocus because with Pearl, they're going to help endorse us, and once we get the stuff out, because they want their artists to do well, so we'll get a lot more what'd you say, like eyes on us and stuff like that. And also I just did a news story with Global BC News out here, and it's our biggest, it'd be like CBS in the States, I guess, for Canada. So that kind of stuff sort of raises the profile a little bit, so we're hoping just sort of to gain on that momentum and just keep that going, type of a thing. So it's pretty busy, and then I have to do like I'm still trying to do it because I had some other things sort of get in my way recently with some health type of things, but I have to do I did the unboxing video and the setup and all that stuff, so I had to have to do all the editing and stuff for my social media, things like that. So just that kind of thing keeps me pretty busy. And the cover band thing is, it's fun, to be honest. Like we play a lot of like 90s dance music, not really a lot of modern stuff like disco, 80s pop, 80s rock, metal, like pretty much everything. We have a really, really killer female singer, and she just nails rock stuff like Shoot to Thrill from AC/DC. She just rips that one a new one, and stuff like that. And like the Barracuda, the Crazy new stuff, but she also she's a Latin singer. She used to have like a record deal in Mexico about 15 years ago before she moved to Canada. And so she's got a real background like with Selena and all that kind of Latin pop. So we do that kind of stuff as well. And it's, it's good because it's so much different than rock. You do a lot of that where the kick drum's constantly going and the opping, so when you have to, when you're doing it just with your hands, it's complicated because you're trying to do all the different fills and variations and cowbell and stuff, and you have to keep that kick going no matter what. You know what I mean? So it's actually kind of fun and challenging in a different way, And so that's fun. And then the Pink Floyd thing is also challenging because like we do, basically it's a 4-piece and we do everything as close to the albums as humanly possible. Like it's actually surprisingly close. And the guy who's the vocalist sounds so much like Roger Waters, and he does the Gilmore stuff perfectly too. And it's really fun because we just keep on trying to get closer and closer to the album. And we just recently did an outdoor in the park we just did the whole entire Dark Side of the Moon, and then half of the Animals album, and then we do like some older stuff like what's that called, Fat Old Sons and Lucifer Sam and Astronomy Donome, that kind of stuff, like off the first album, so it's really fun. And then the Animals album with all the 15-minute songs and all that kind of stuff, it's good for the memory, right? So yeah, so that's a bit challenging too, and fun because I like Pink Floyd. It's a different vibe, right? It's so laid back as opposed to like a dance band or a hard rock band, right? It's a completely different vibe. So you kind of get the best of both worlds playing in the 3 bands like that right now. It's kind of, I don't really have any unscratched areas right now.
At least in terms of uncharted territory, if we want to say that too, in terms of Pink Floyd. So,
Sorry?
I would say maybe uncharted territory in terms of Pink Floyd. Like, there's none of that whatsoever. I got pretty much used to it. That's kind of the way I was taking it.
Yeah, so. Yeah. It's really fun. I really like it a lot. Yeah. And it's cool because I don't practice at my house because it's such a large setup with all the technical stuff to make it all happen, right? Because we do all the keyboard parts, all the effects, all that kind of stuff. So where we play, he can't bring it over to my house like in an efficient way. It would just be too hard. So he has sort of a hybrid kit over there. So I just bring my cymbals and a set of hi-hats. He has a set of hi-hats there because I need minimum 2 hi-hats. So I just bring that and my snare drum over there, set it up in about 15 minutes, practice, and then bring it home. But now that I got another kit, because traditionally I only had 1 drum kit. Like for 25 years, that's all I had. And that made gigging extremely labor intensive because I would have to take down the entire kit, carry it 1 piece at a time out to the garage, then out to the car, load my car. It took me about 2.5 hours, get to the venue. Then my bandmates always carry the stuff because I can't carry it through a bar and up onto a stage. They would carry it all up there, and then I'd set it up, play, tear it down. They put it in my car, but then I have to take it all back into my house and set it up again every time. So the large bulk of the work is at my house, either taking apart and loading the car or vice versa. So now that I have another kit, I'm just going to leave my other kit in the garage. And that's basically 70% of the work is now gone. Because unless I'm using doing a prominent type show, I'll use this kit, like the new one. But other than that, I'm just going to use my other one because it's just, way, way, way less work. Plus it's a nice kit too. It's like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's got same cymbals, sizes, just not the same models as these Sabians, but so it's still a quality kit. It's been doing great for 25 years, so it doesn't owe me anything, but that part, believe me, I can't wait to not have to tear down and set up for my next gig, And the thing about going to, from my perspective, I never get to play at somebody else's house because I can't access basements. Because I have friends, like my friend John that I keep referencing, can carry me downstairs, no problem, just like a refrigerator. And he can do 50 stairs without dropping me. But for some reason, everybody else is just super awkward. I'm almost going to die every time. So I don't really, groove on that kind of a thing, right? So this house where my friend lives, it's built in the side of a mountain, and he has interlocking bricks that go down to his basement. Like the one house out of 10,000 houses probably where I live that happens to have a basement that I can access. So for me, it's wow, this is amazing. Not only do I not have to practice at home, but if I can get out of the house and not drive my wife crazy, and still play. So it's a different experience for me because it's just like I never drive anybody else's car.
Actually, I think that
I drive my car unless you want to duct tape a putter to the gas pedal or something like that. Maybe.
Actually, I would say this friend of yours, the nickname we probably should give him is the Man in the High Castle or something like that. To kind of quote the book in a TV series.
Yeah,
kind of that. So,
High Castle.
The Man in the High Castle, or
I've seen that.
yeah,
yeah.
It was cool.
It's a pretty freaky one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think I'd say it's definitely a lot different than what the book was about. I don't think they really got to the supernatural.
Okay. Yeah, I did. I just watched the TV series.
Yeah, but the show kind of builds off the whole premise of it. It's like the Nazis and Japanese won World War II.
Yeah.
The whole thing with the U.S. being split and that whole deal.
Yeah.
But then
all the different realities.
That whole deal, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. Actually, I was going to ask earlier, do you do all the social media, or do you have friends and family that can help out with the social media aspect, whether it's your YouTube channel or the bands?
Oh no, I do that all on my own. Yeah, yeah. I should be doing a better job. To be honest, I'm one of those people that I struggle to get motivated to do. I don't know why. I almost would rather look at other people's stuff. You know what I mean? So like posting regularly is just something I need to get better at, especially now. In the past, like obviously I put up gigs that are coming up, stuff like that. I have to promote that kind of a thing, but I'm gonna have to start making more content coming up right away. But right now I just don't have the cameras. I do have audio set up, and I do have a bunch of like mic stands that Pearl gave me. They're like they clip on, because one of the things that I have to do, this is another thing about my drum kits, is if I'm playing cover band, it's no problem. I can go set up my kit, leave it there for the weekend, tear it down. It's not a big deal. But when I play multiple band gigs, like with my band Life, because when you're in an original band, it's never just you. You're always playing with at least two other bands normally. So, and that's always been the case, for the last 25 years. So one of the main concerns for me is that I have to use my own kit. I can't use backline. And I always have to assure whatever the stage manager is, because we play a lot of really big shows where it's like Leonard Skinner, they had to carry me over top of the guy's piano, and they almost dropped me inside the piano because there was no spot to get around it. And they literally I'm like, that's not going to go over well. You know what I mean? So there's always some type of a issue. So what I do is my drum kit, it's a rack, and it comes apart in basically 3 sections. So when I get to the venue, whatever it is, I would set it up adjacent to the stage, and then I'd have like clip-on mics, and then my overhead mics are like clamped on to the rack. And so everything's one piece other than the snare drum and the floor tom. So then when it's time to go up, and a lot of times too, I would have to go up first, and they'd have to put the kit around me because I wouldn't be able to fit around it to get behind it. So I would go up first, and they just put it there, and then put the snare drum and the floor tom, and then plug the loom into the snake. So it'd take like 5-10 minutes. Like they're always, oh no, what's going to go on with this guy? They'd always be like deer in headlights, right? Thinking it's going to be some design. And you got 15 minutes. You have to start. You know how that goes. And so I've never had a problem because I designed the kit specifically for that purpose, And but the one thing about the other rack that I had is the round tubing. So when they pick it up, it's always twisting a little bit, So when they drop it down, you have to spend 5 minutes, twisting it back so it's stable and not wobbling around, and everything's kind of like the right angle. Whereas with this Pearl kit, it is like, this thing is like, you can make a Terminator. Look at that. You can make a Terminator out of this thing, and it's got like the square tubing. So when you pick that up as one piece, it does not move. Like it doesn't twist at all. It's literally like one. So I actually haven't tried it yet at a gig for that, like doing it that way. But I know for a fact it's going to be a piece of cake. And not only that, I'll be able to break it down more because it's got memory locks on everything. The other kit that I had, I would only take the corners apart. I would never touch any of this kind of stuff because it would just take forever to get it back in the exact spot. You know what I mean? Like, and then people would go, like, people would help me take it off the stage and they start undoing stuff. And I'm like, no, that's going to take me 4 hours. It's like, you know what I mean? So this one's going to be fantastic for that. Plus it's, you know, like I said, it's just, look at it. Like literally, that's how Tommy Lee could probably jump on top of all that stuff back in the day. I was always wondering how they didn't break everything, but yeah, it's just super heavy duty equipment. And then the coolest thing is, I'm not sure if you can see right there, that drum there, that's my kick drum. And I always used to use pads like with the trigger, but they built me an actual tom with a built-in trigger up inside the thing that matches the kit, so it looks like an actual drum as opposed to like a rolling pad. I had a Heart Dynamics pad at one time. I made one out of a drum with a D drum trigger, you know, just different things. And then, you know, and the thing with those triggers is they were always double triggering, or else when you're going really fast, they go like they're not articulate. Whereas this thing, it doesn't matter how fast you hit that thing. Like just like a normal drum, it picks everything up and it's all distinguished. No, this is the unbelievably good trigger, you know, and it looks super cool too. So
if you wanted to, it could actually be like a double bass. If the way you're kind of describing it, obviously, like
yeah, I do lots of double bass stuff. Yeah, because I just do it with my left hand. Like there's all kinds of different things that you can do with it. Yeah. And that's why I have the 3 hi-hats, right? So I can do the 16th notes on the hi-hat, and then that's it. And whatever notes that I do, I don't just use my left hand on the kick. I alternate left and right depending on which hand is open for the beat that I have to do. You know what I mean? So that's why having the two hi-hats, one open, so I can do the psst stuff without lifting my foot. I just hit the open hat. So I got a 14-inch set of Paragons on like that are closed, and then the other one's the exact same. It's like a Paragon, but 13-inch. So it's just a little bit lighter, and it just makes more of a sound. And then on the right side, I have like those are also open hats, so I can do like the washy kind of stuff, and then do like a psst off of the ride cymbal. So you pretty much get everything covered that way, you know. And then for double kick, I can just do it like with my hands, you know. It works really good.
Actually, I was thinking more like the double kick, like what you get with the death metal, that sort of stuff, where it's sort of prerequisite to always be able to.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing with that is I'll go as fast as I can with my one hand, but if it's super death metal stuff, like that, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna get. Rick Allen actually told me he has a trigger that I can use that goes on a hi-hat stand that you can program to the same as a kick drum. So when I'm going like this, that'll be doing a hi-hat and a kick drum. So I go like that. Would be really the only. But I don't really play that kind of music very often, so it's not a real big deal for me because I'm more like my hard rock band's more like a Foo Fighters style, Guns N' Roses level of heaviness, you know, as opposed to speed metal and stuff like that. So it's not, for what I do, it's not super crucial. But for like, you know, fills and things like that, and double bass fills in different parts, I just like do it with my hands, with my 2 hands, basically.
That's pretty cool. And I guess while we're still talking about gear, I guess first off, how many drum sets do you have? And I guess what do you use to put everything together for the music videos and everything else?
Well, for like the drum covers, you mean?
Yeah. Drum covers on YouTube, and then I guess anything else you use in terms of social media, whether it's promotion or
Well, for what I was doing traditionally for my YouTube channel up till now, I just record with my phone the audio, and I just make sure I play the covers like exactly to the original, because I just put it right over the top. I don't even take the drums out or nothing. So it's just so like, if you're not exactly on, you'll hear a flam, or you'll hear a drum hit where there isn't one, or you'll hear the original recording hit where you're not hitting, type of a thing. So it makes it a little bit. I mean, that's how I play in my cover band anyway. I don't really do a lot of embellishing. I pretty much just stick to the script, kind of a thing. Just sort of always done that. And so that's basically how I've been making drum covers. But I think now what I might do is, because I'm going to do a better quality of recording in the future, probably do that where they take the drum tracks out, like just play to the actual song, and then when I mix it, take the original drums out probably in the future. But up till now, I've just been layering them right over the top, kind of a thing, hoping for the best.
Well, I know there is what they call moises that it'll take a little bit of the stem out, for instance. In this case, like drums.
Yeah.
So they just have with guitars, bass, and vocals.
Yeah, totally. That's what they did. That's what they did with the Limelight thing. I just played to the original track, and then they pulled the drums out and threw the recorded ones in there. So I'll probably do something like that. But it helps to play to the actual track, right? Because then you're doing the exact groove and the exact that the original is, And plus, it helps. I find that it helps, like, your ability to learn when you do that. Like the way I look at it is like every time you're learning a song, basically you're learning from another teacher for free. You're right. It's like you're basically learning their technique, really. So
we learn from the professor in this case.
Yeah, or whatever you're doing. It doesn't matter. You're learning from the original guy.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
So those are actually Sabian symbols. I keep thinking it's more. I know you said hybrid drums there too. So I've been used to electric drum sets with what I use and how much you see on my YouTube channel. So I'm used to the wires. So that's what I'm trying to look for as well.
Well, it's funny you say that because my cover band kit, about a year and a half ago, I switched to a hybrid kit. It was basically my same drum frame that I used with all my acoustic drums and everything. I left all the normal cymbals on there, but I just, instead of having acoustic toms and a floor tom, I just put on 3 pads simply because it's so much easier for me to plug in as opposed to set up microphones and then go around the other side of the drum kit on the stage while everybody's trying to set up, and I'm in the way. Believe me, it's like I have a footprint, and it's like, and then there's always stuff in the way, and I'm tripping over it. So I have a way now where if I lay out my drum kit, I don't have to move from where I am. I work backwards, and I can set the whole entire thing up, including my overhead mics and all the wiring from behind the kit, and not have to move around. So, and plus, with that kit, I can I throw the pads in a Tupperware container, a Rubbermaid, and I use that for like my mixer because my cover band we use backtracks, so I have like a backtrack mixer, and I for the click track and all the backtracks, and I operate all that stuff, so I can put that there. And then when we're done, I just get rid of that, open it up, and put all the pads in there, and then that's just one box gone. And then it literally saves about 15 minutes, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're doing that all the time, you don't want to be, and then it's less to carry in and all this kind of stuff. So I'm still going to be using that kit for cover band stuff because it just doesn't matter. And it's a nice kit. You know what I mean? It's just the toms and the kick drum that are electronic, and everything else, including the snare, is all acoustic. So it's basically the same sound, just a little bit easier to move around and set up and that.
I've seen other, I guess, people who are disabled or even in wheelchairs as well. I thought there was one on Instagram I saw. He was using like the front wheel. I guess it was like a little small one to kind of use for the kick pedal.
Yeah.
Have you? I was say, yeah. Have you seen other musicians who are in similar situation do some things that maybe you would try to incorporate into your playstyle?
I've seen them do different ways, but I wouldn't. The way I have mine is like I can cover everything with it. I've seen a couple of ones where like the one guy has the bass drum on, like an actual bass drum on the side, which is great. But there's about 30% of drumming you all of a sudden are not able to do because you need the hi-hats on that side to do 16th notes. You know what I mean? If everything's just on that side, you can only basically use your left hand to which is fine for some stuff, but you won't be able to do like the disco and the dance stuff where it's like and you're doing it 4 on the floor kind of a thing. So it's kind of limited. And then there's another guy actually who made the mouse switch work. He actually has some kind of a mouse switch that I think maybe he blows into. I don't know. He has a wire coming out, but he actually made that work, which is like, I did that for 10 years and the technology just wasn't there, but he does a really good job of it. Like, I saw him doing it. That's exactly what I was trying to do all those years. And here's this guy doing it, so it's pretty cool. The only thing is now I wouldn't want to do because you have to have something sticking out of your mouth. You know what I mean? It's like, I'd rather just.
Well, Gene Simmons actually with the tongue. So, yeah.
Yeah. And not only that, like I already lost a tooth here. I can't be like, I don't need to lose anymore. But I did actually teach myself how to play like that. I think that's how I was able to incorporate the hand thing so quickly. It's because I already trained my brain to use, like for 10 years, I would just listen to songs and just kind of like air drum it with my teeth. So I'd always find myself playing the kick drum with my teeth. I don't do it at all anymore, but I did at that time. So I think that might have been a bit of a transition to help me transition into this way of playing, And there's another guy actually, because I'm this part of this documentary that I'm doing in Georgia. He's a vet, and that's how I met Steve Jordan, because Keith Richards' nephew, his name's Matt Serena. He runs a program called Guardian Revival. I'm not sure where it's based at. He lives in New York. But anyways, this guy was a client of his, and he's in a wheelchair, and he wanted to see if there was someone could help him get back to drumming. And then Steve Jordan reached out to Rick Allen, and then Rick Allen called me, and he's like, "Hey man, you want to meet Steve Jordan?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I want to meet Steve Jordan." It's like, yeah. It's like, so then we did like a Zoom call, and I met this guy. His name's Adam Cherney. He lives in Georgia. And so we ended up bringing him from Georgia to Kelowna because I wanted to show him, because I had a bunch of gigs going on, about, the most difficult part of being a drummer in a wheelchair is playing out. It's not the learning how to play. It's not playing with one hand. It's not that. It's how do you navigate the musical landscape and set it, because there's no wheelchair division. They don't go, "Oh, you're in a wheelchair, you get half an hour to set up." That's not how it goes. It's like everybody gets 15 minutes. If you don't do it, like, forget about it. You know what I mean? Especially when on the higher scale shows, like, it's just not a thing. So that kind of a thing was always fairly stressful, especially at the beginning, and then you're always having to explain to the stage manager, like, "Don't worry, we got this covered. We've done it a bunch of times." And then they see you do it and it's all fine. But, and then there's other stuff like festivals where there's no bathroom I can't use a bathroom. They don't have that. Maybe now they do. I think they do. But back in the day, they didn't. It was like, too bad, so sad. You know what I mean? So there's just things that people don't think about that would really make things a lot more difficult. And then also the aspect of, like, especially when you do like city gigs, like the ones where it's like a festival or something like that, and they provide the backline. Well, they always there's me always playing in front of a drum kit, sticking behind me, drum set sticking out of my head because I had to play in front of it, right? Can't use the riser or anything like that. So there's all these different situations, even just like, how do you get your kit in there when there's when the venue or the show hasn't made accommodations for that, because they already have a way of doing it. They already got their drum kit there. They're not thinking about how I'm going to get my drum kit there. So you always have to adapt and think of different ways to make it so that you have to adapt to them. That's just the way it is. You know what I mean? You can't expect the world to just, bend. Plus they don't know what to do, right? It's like, it's not up to them. It's up to me to find a way. And that was one of the biggest challenges. And like I said, the most amount of work by far was only having the one drum kit for all these years. Having, man, every time I'd have a gig, I'd be like, "Oh, okay, well, I guess I'll go." I always load the night before, you know what I mean? Because I didn't want it was so much work. I didn't want to do it that day, then have to set up and then play and then tear down, do the same thing. Like, it's just too much physical labor to do that kind of stuff. But now, because of Pearl, this is going to be huge difference. I can't wait. Like, I got my other kit. I can see it right now. It's sitting in the corner. All I got to do is just throw it in the car. going to be awesome.
That's good to hear. And I do want to talk about some of the plans I guess you guys have for this year. But first, I want to maybe delve into another challenge, which kind of does into COVID a little bit. So I guess how bad was COVID for you on a personal, family level? And then I don't know what you're doing music wise, but what was going on music wise during COVID?
Yeah, it was weird. We did my band Life actually. We were pretty active during that. We made videos, you know, and we did like when it was real lockdown, we did like a cover of our own song. It's called Walk My Way, and we called it Wash My Way. So, and then we took like dog collars, you know, like so they don't scratch their head, those things, and we put those on, and then we each did like played the parts from home, and then we had like this whole hand washing stupid thing that we did. It's on my YouTube. It's pretty dumb. So we did that, and then after that, we actually did at one of the better venues in town here. We did a live stream from like full stage, full setup, weirdest thing ever. You know, full PA, 20 people in the room because there was two other bands or one other band. So it's just the people in the bands, whoever's producing the show, and then it was broadcast on the internet. So I got a couple of those videos on my YouTube too. So you'll see them. It's weird. It's like nobody there, but you're playing a full show in a venue, which is weird. And then we also did my guitar player lives on like a kind of like a little bay, and across the street from him is like a little park. So we did a concert in his yard. And then the way we advertised it, because you weren't allowed to, I don't know if you remember how it was in the States, but you couldn't like advertise for a show, you get fined. Like if you said, oh, we're going to have a show here, or we're having a party, or we're doing something like that. So we got, oh, we're just having a band practice at my guitar player's house, and please don't come down there and sit across the street in the park and watch us. And then we went and we just hit pamphlets all around the neighborhood and told them we're going to make a bunch of noise because it was like in the middle of the day on a Sunday. And then, yeah, we just played a whole concert and the whole neighborhood came out, and it was just like, you know, old times. So that was, we called it the Gorilla Concert. So we did stuff like that just to sort of improvise and keep going.
And you got fined, didn't you?
Pardon?
I was saying, did you guys get fined for doing that?
No, not a problem. Not at all.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right, that all worked out. That's good.
That's what we did. We said, don't come out because it's just a practice. Make sure you're not there. And then everybody just came. Yeah. Or as many people as we needed. It was really fun. Yeah.
It's one of those, we definitely do this sort of moment. So yeah.
Yeah. Right. I mean, it's just so happened he lived like directly across the street from a park. So they had benches and trees they could go up in and stuff like that. So it was really cool.
That's good to hear. And also good to see you and the family were safe there too. So
yeah.
Good to have you along here for the ride, Jeff.
You too, buddy. It's nice meeting you.
Same here. And you said you're about 3 hours from Vancouver, so I'm not too sure if there's any other towns or small cities in between. But from your perspective, how's the music scene been since COVID? Regardless, I don't know how far you guys have traveled or whether you've done like full tours and that sort of stuff.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, it's back to normal. I don't even notice the difference, to be honest. It might even be better. You know, it seems like there's just a lot. I think there's more of an appetite for live music. Maybe I don't know if it's because of that at all, but it might just be, you know, especially people my age, don't have their kids at home anymore. It seems like, you know, our style of music is more popular than it was. You know, like when we first started with my band Life, it was in the era of emo and the new metal and all that kind of stuff. And we're more like I said, like a Foo Fighters sort of, you know, hard rock, not really that screamy stuff. You know what I mean? So we played a lot of gigs with those bands, a lot. Like we played punk gigs, metal gigs, all the time. You know, so we are in with that community, like, you know, but we just weren't that band, you know. So it was actually kind of good because we'd be something different, you know, in the mix type of a thing. We're still heavy, you know, but not that same sort of style, you know. But now that style is actually coming back a lot stronger than what it was, especially back then, you know. We find that anyways. We find a lot easier to pack venues, and just seems like it's a lot easier to get interest in live music.
I guess the reason I brought it up was because in other parts, like the States, or even like in other parts of the world that I've done interviews on, they've talked about sometimes the rise of like cover and tribute bands, or even like some venues that were doing pretty well up until COVID had closed down, that sort of deal. So, do you see maybe a similar pattern where you're at?
Not really, no. More like small businesses got closed down, like stores, things like that were more like really heavily affected. The clubs, not really, not at all. Like I'm just like they may have like changeovers, like how they do, new management, new name type of a thing. But I wouldn't say there's less of them. I wouldn't say that at all. Where we live, the real estate's so expensive. A lot of times these places sell out because they want to put condos up. You know what I mean? It's like a downtown place, a little bar that holds 150 people compared to like a 40-story condo. We've had quite a few of them. Or the place where we did our very first show back in 2020, 21 or whatever. That's exactly what happened to it. It was just the best place you could play at, but they just tore it down, built a condo, because it's that. So it's more that kind of a thing, as opposed to, shut down for any other reason. It's just like they're just trying to. They had a rule here in Kelowna when I first moved out that they couldn't, on the waterfront, they couldn't make a high rise like more than, I think, 12 stories or something, because they didn't want to ruin people's view. And now it's just skyscrapers. It's they changed that, and now it's like it doubled in population in probably 10 years. Because everyone, it's a very beautiful place. That's wine country. Like I have, like when I first moved here, it was cheaper to live here than it was in Winnipeg. Like we call it Winter Pig. Like no one wants to live there, and now it's like probably the most expensive in Canada just because it sort of caught on. And then everyone started moving here. We're like, no, go home. But yeah, exactly. Yeah. But too late. It is what it is. It's just a very nice place to live. We have the forest fire risk, kind of thing, like California. We have the big massive fires and stuff. We've been on like evacuation alert like many times, and I've been like, I have a mountain just across the street from me, and you would just watch it just burning, like going, oh man, I hope that doesn't hit. You just sit there in the nighttime just watching out your window, and instead of watching TV, you're watching a forest fire. But so it's got its drawbacks, but it doesn't everything. At least it's not -35 in the winter. Matter of fact, this year was the first year ever we didn't get snow. Crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When I went to Nashville, it was -12. We went we didn't even bring proper jackets. We thought, oh, it's Nashville. It's going to be all hot. And it was like freezing when we were there. It's unbelievable. And then like not that long ago, they got hit with a snowstorm and it knocked all the power out. Like all the Pearl guys had to work from home because the headquarters had no power or nothing because there's so much snow. And we were like, oh, nice.
I think that's what we had. I was going to say, I think that's what we had, that big nor'easter, because I know we got hit. It might have been what's in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I bet you got it too. Yeah, because it was right
10
around.
inches. So, yeah.
There you go. That's what they had. Yeah. And in Georgia and stuff too, right? So, yeah. It was really cool to go to Nashville because I'd never been to a place like that. Man, you want to small fish in a big pond? Holy, everywhere you go, everybody plays something, and they're great at it, Like it's not, that is Music City to say the least, You go there and the guy at the hotel is in a band, the Uber driver's in a band. It's like everybody plays something,
Like I said earlier, guys pay the man somehow. So he needed like a full-time job, that whole deal.
Yeah, totally. So, yeah.
All right. But nonetheless,
it's pretty hard to make a living. There's a handful of the people make all the money, right? So everybody else has to pretty much, grind it out. But it's fun. What else are we doing, right?
we're keeping ourselves out of trouble. So you'd be thankful for that. So yeah.
Well, depends.
Well, I don't know, but whatever.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, keep going strong there, Canada. Good job out there too. Also keeping the music scene around there too.
Yeah. So we good?
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Oh yeah, I got a little bit here too, actually. But
Oh yeah, cool.
actually, I'll do one more question, then we'll jump into some extra fun ones afterwards. So
Yeah, absolutely, sure.
So we have talked a little bit about the YouTube, but I guess it was more so the motivation behind it. So did you strictly wanted to do drum covers, or did you also want to cover some other stuff? Maybe it was like blogs and stuff.
Yeah, I've put stuff like original stuff from my bands up there. I'm gonna start putting more like how I do things. Like I made a video of what I was telling you about how I load everything into the car, but I did it like 16 times speed because there's no way anyone's gonna watch it. So I make it so it's like kind of like that, you know, just to give people an idea of what I actually have to do. That's probably going to be the next video that I post. And then I was thinking, I find that people don't understand what I'm actually doing. Like they look at it, but they don't know what's actually happening. Like how I'm making. Again, that's what I get from the comments as well. Is like they think maybe I have something pre-programmed or, you know, as far as the kick drum goes. So I think I'm going to make like sort of instructional things that just show literally how I do separate beats. Like this is how I do this beat. This is how I do this fill, because it is different, you know, and just sort of do more instructional type things like that. Plus you can monetize them. Not that I have enough followers that it makes any difference, but you know, so that I can get my 35 cents, you know, but I'm probably going to do more stuff like that coming up. Now, the one thing I would say about the YouTube channels, I don't have a huge following, but I've gotten amazing amount of stuff from it. As far as like even like Rick Allen, he like gave me a huge shout out on Eddie Trunk show, and then same like with on Global News, because he did a. I'll send them to you privately if you want to. I'll show them to you because I have them on YouTube unlisted. Because I can't show them yet because a part of it's in the documentary because I got a whole bunch of interviews that I did, but I can send them to you. And I will be posting the one that he did for Global News because my Global News story came out 2 weeks ago. So now I talked to them and they said that I can use it. So I've gotten things like, and then Pearl, that's how they found me, is on YouTube. So the way that came about is I just one day went into my email and it said, "Oh, hi, this is Pearl Drums, and you know we have an issue going on, and we'd like to talk to you about some things." I'm like, "Yeah, right." You know what I mean? It's like I really thought it was a hoax. I did, and then they have like a little card at the bottom, like electronic card. So I went on there and I researched the guy, and I'm like, "Oh, wow!" Like he's he's on like 400 records and stuff. He's got the world record for the fastest hands on a hand instrument. It's like 1,159 strokes in 60 seconds, if you can believe that. And so I'm like, this guy's legit, right? So I gave him my phone number, and 5 minutes later he calls me, and then we started sort of going down that route. He just thought I did drum covers. He didn't know I had all this other stuff going on, because at first they were just going to bring me to Anaheim for the NAMM show and do that. But then once they found out sort of the other stuff that I had going on, they decided to bring me out to Nashville and then build my kit and the chair. And then I was actually I'll send you a couple pictures if you want, but I was on their main display at the NAMM show for Pearl, their booth. So that's what all those pictures were about and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's some pretty cool. That without YouTube, zero chance that's happening, right? So even though I don't have a lot of subscribers, you know, that last video though, the Pearl one, normally I get like a few hundred. I've had a few like my Rush ones where I got in the thousands of views, but this last one I got like 24,000 views in like a week, which is super unusual for me. You know what I mean? Like and then, you know, I went from like 400 and something subscribers to like 1,100 in about a week. So that was definitely new for me. So I don't really understand why, because like it was just a video that I put up. You know what I mean? I don't really actually know why that one. I don't know if it's the thumbnail or something. I really don't know. But for some reason, it just did a lot better than my other videos. So, so I want to try and continue that momentum, because I took such a long break from it. And you know how that is. If you take a break from it, you fall out of the algorithm completely, So now that I'm back in it, I think I better start maybe posting some stuff. So
Yeah, give a nice clap right there too. So congratulations there, Jeff.
thank you, buddy.
So,
I
yeah.
appreciate that.
But this documentary, I guess, is it mainly covering people who've had disabilities or have lost limbs, like what Rick Allen gone through?
Kind of. Well, it's basically, it centers around my story. Like it does my background, and it's all the people connected with me. Like that guy, his name's Adam Cherney. So what we did is I taught him his very first song ever. Like he'd never learned a complete song before. So I taught him Hysteria from Def Leppard. And then when he came to Kelowna, one of my friends set up a kit like down here, just beside us, and we recorded us playing it together, like in tandem. And then we flew to Toronto when Def Leppard was playing at the stadium there. And then that's when we did the Rick Allen interviews. And then, like I've known him like 25 years now. I'm like really good friends with Rick. And so I introduced him to him. Plus my best friend John's son is very autistic, but he's a drum freak. He plays drums. He takes lessons every Tuesday, but he's not verbal. And his biggest hero in life is by far Rick Allen. Like he literally adores Rick Allen. And back in 2016, and he draws like rock stars. Like he has stacks of paper. Like for his birthday, he's like 20 years old, and all you do is just buy him a ream of paper. And he's like the happiest kid ever. And he just draws rock bands and he puts their names and does all this kind of stuff. And so he drew a picture, and it's of me. And he goes, Jeff Elwood, no legs. And then he has the picture he draws. He goes, Rick Allen, one arm. And then he goes like that. And he draws the picture. So when they were playing in Calgary, I grabbed the picture that he had drawn and took it out to Calgary, got Rick to sign it, and then got him to take a picture with it, and then brought it home to him. And the kid had just lost it. He was so happy, right? That was in 2019. So in 2024, we lined it up. So when we went to Toronto, I brought my friend Adam, the other guy in the wheelchair, to show him playing Hysteria. And because that's his first song ever. My first song, by the way, too, was Rock of Ages. It's the first song I ever learned in my life back in '83, which is kind of weird. Just I wasn't like a particularly huge Def Leppard fan. It just happened to be the song that my drum teacher taught me. Anyway, that's a side note. And then so anyways, my John's son's name's Jace. We brought him as well out to Toronto to meet Rick. Man, oh man, when he met Rick, like it was crazy. Like he couldn't believe it. He was just so happy. And like, so then when and he was so like blown away when Rick was doing the interviews, he passed out. Like he just went, Pink. And for about 10 minutes, and then he wakes up again. He's all happy. Like, whoa. Like it just, we couldn't believe it. It was so hilarious, man. And he still talks about it. Like he'll say, he can't really speak like sentences, but he'll say like the date. He'll go, Rick Allen, July 20, whatever the day was. I can't remember. You know what I mean? He'll say stuff like that. Like and so he is also in the documentary because he's got a disability. He's drumming. So, and it's like, it's basically, it's not just about disabilities. It's about basically the concept is how drums saved my life. So, there's another guy we're going to have in it called Billy Brimblecom. He lost his leg to cancer. He was in a big band. He's going to be in it, like Todd Sucherman. The reason he's in it is Rick Allen runs a foundation called Raven Drum Foundation. And basically it's to help first respond. It started off with soldiers, like military soldiers, back when he started it 25 years ago. But now it sort of morphed into firefighters and first responders to help them with PTSD and all this kind of stuff. And it's a big deal. It's like they have all these events, like in New York and different places. New York was the last one. Peter Criss was the honoree, and they have like major league drummers come there and play, and then they raise money. And Todd Sucherman from Styx does a lot of that kind of stuff. And so I guess there had been last spring, Rick contacted me. He said, do you know anybody? Because the board of directors from that foundation owns a winery. And he said, we're trying to branch into Canada and we want to have like a sort of like a collaboration wine brand to sell and raise money to bring the Raven Foundation into Canada. So he said, do you know anybody? So I actually do. I know a guy who owns 5 wineries. He was in a band. One of my, like I haven't been in a band with him, but I played in bands with his band members. So we're kind of the same community. So I got him on board, and now they've already got like the wine picked out and the labeling and all that. Rick's an artist, so he does like the artistry for the labeling and stuff like that. And so they're bringing that into Canada. So that's also one of the reasons some of those guys are in that documentary, right? So it's just sort of like a comprehensive sort of thing that we have going on. And then now with the Rush coming into it and stuff like that, that's going to be another aspect that we're going to be filming. And like I said, talking with Steve Jordan, we're going to be probably go to New York and do some interviews with him, stuff like that, so it's going to be pretty good. It's just a little taking a little longer because we thought it would have less content than we originally thought. And then as it started going on, things started happening. So we obviously have to have that in there. And you know what I mean? There's just things that have been developing. So it's just taking a little bit longer to complete, but it'll be better in the end anyway. So
that sounds good. And I guess, is there a particular release date that they have in mind? And I guess what's the plan?
No, not really, because we're not sure even like when availability is going to be in the summer, because we're trying to possibly go out to New York in August for the Rush concert out there. And then try and time that with Steve because he lives in New York. So it's all like kind of like logistic stuff. And that's even if we can make that happen. Everything has to kind of line up, And so far everything's been good that way, But when we went to Toronto to see Def Leppard, we almost didn't make it because the flight got canceled, and we just made it there. And then he goes, "Oh, my wife's here in Toronto." He says, "Is there any chance we could do the interview tomorrow?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." It's like, because I didn't want to phone him and cancel because he'd already like committed to it, and we set up a hotel spot to do it all and everything. I didn't want to go, "Oh, Rick, can we do it tomorrow instead?" Then he ends up calling me. I'm like, "Oh, that's perfect." I love that when that happens, eh? Or like when you want to cancel something, but then someone phones you and cancels it before you even cancel it. It's like, oh yeah.
A huge weight was just taken off my shoulders right then and there.
So, I don't even look bad. Yeah.
All right. So to be continued in that case, but
yeah, that's an ongoing thing,
But I guess in terms of the band and your music projects, I guess what's the plans for this year?
Yeah, that's it. Well, the Pink Floyd thing, we're starting in August. And we have we're going to try and do one every month. Like we're just going from like a club, then we're doing a theater, then we're just want to only be in theaters, like the 1,000-seat sort of venue type of a thing. And because it's just that kind of a thing. It's not a club band. Do you know what I mean? It's not like
the club, that'll deal.
Yeah, no, it's not. No, that's my cover band's that. It's like get up and party music. You know what I mean? And my hard rock band is rock out music, and then the Pink Floyd thing is no. It's like it's Pink Floyd. It's like it's got to. You have to have the thing with that kind of a thing is it doesn't do good for you're doing like a city event, that kind of stuff, because it's not a general audience band. You know what I mean? You have to be a Pink Floyd fan. You might like one Pink Floyd song, but you're not going to like the whole Dark Side of the Moon and then the Animals and then all the other stuff. It's like, no, it won't work out. You got to really dig it, kind of a thing. So
I would say it's more like maybe go to see a movie in this case, or maybe some of those plays like where you had like the bands would have like the little like ensemble or something play like the music or something like that.
Yeah, and we have like a real cool digital show like that goes like on the background with all the projections that match all the songs and stuff like that, and it changes to like it senses the kick drum, So it knows like where in the song to go. Like in Money, it's got all this, does all the stuff. In Time, it does stuff. In Mother, it's got all the weird, freaky stuff from the Wall movie, you know, like all that kind of stuff. And then a coordinated light show. So it's pretty cool. It's like, it's more of a performance, like what you're saying, like more of a theatrical thing. And I've actually done that before too. I did back in 2015 and 2017, I did a rock musical called Wrath of the Medusa. And so I was it was like a original score. So you had to learn, and I don't read music, so I had to memorize the whole thing. And they had a conductor and everything. It's rock music, but you know, it's still conducted because they have like all the cast members behind you, and they all have those like face mics or whatever, and everything's coordinated. So you have to know exactly when to come in. Someone says this phrase, then you start off that beat. You know what I mean? It's like, it was really, really quite different because you're literally a live soundtrack. You know what I mean? And that was really, really fun to do. And it was like, you know, a major theater release. So there's like lots of people, stuff like that. So, and it's pressure, right? Because it's like, you're not just in your band. There's like 25 cast members and the drums is what everything's based on. Because the conductor's like, he's counting it like this, then stop. And then you got to read on the thing. Like, oh, I'm at this spot. Then I always have these little highlighter things because like I can't remember lyrics for some reason. So I'd always have to have a key word. So, okay, he said that. Okay, watch him. Okay, go. You know what I mean? It was pretty challenging, to be honest, and really fun. You know, and they made a movie out of it and stuff like that. So it was really cool. I would do that again, actually, if I had a chance. It was like, because it was like challenging and also fun, you know, and met really cool people. And the musicians were amazing. You know, as a matter of fact, the guitar player in my band Life right now, that's where I met him. He was the guitar player for that. He's like our like I said, we've had changing cast members throughout the years, you know, but in the setup lineup that we have now, he's in it.
That's good to hear. Actually, the way you kind of described it, it's almost like those big theaters you'd see like in Vegas, where they have all the acrobats, that sort of deal, and it's all light up and everything. And almost in this case, did they do something similar with the high rise, raising the drums up to do what they did with Peter Criss and Kiss? Kind of give it like a little.
Well, for me, what they had to do is they had to drop me down in because there was a band pit in front of the stage. So we were actually in front of the stage. And then the thing is, too, is they don't want the drums projecting into the crowd. So they had the glass. They originally wanted me to use an E-kit, but it just wasn't working out. So they just put the plexiglass in front of me and stuff like that. And it worked quite well, you know, because you don't want it projecting past the mix, you know, because it was like a live band. So it was a little bit of a weird technical thing, but they had really top end guys doing it. So it ended up working out really good. And you get to see how that stuff works. I'd never seen anything like that before, you know, and I joined late. Like the drummer they originally had, he did all the audio recording for the play, like, because they had the soundtrack as a CD that you had to learn, you know, and the band had already been playing for 6 months, and I only had 2 months to learn the whole thing. Not even, because I think it was a month before we did the rehearsals, and then it was like the first time we did the rehearsal was like the whole entire play you had to do, and that's when we met the cast. The cast was rehearsing separately, then the band would rehearse sort of separately. So yeah, that was another part that I forgot about, because their drummer went on a tour. He's like a jazz sort of well, he does everything. He does like big band music, and he went on an Elvis tour for like a really good Elvis guy. And right now he's in an amazing Elton John tribute. Like, they're in Florida right now. It's so good. It's like the guy sings way better than, like, way more like Elton John on the album than Elton John, like quite a bit. It's like Elton, wow, that really sounds like me. You know, they're really good. But yeah, so he was a really great drummer, but he just couldn't do it. So I kind of got a last minute call and was able to do that, which was a lot of fun. You know,
that's great to hear. And great job there, Jeff. So make us proud going forward there, mate. So,
well, we'll see what happens, right? I'll try.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
But we are almost out of time. So here, let's breeze through the fun questions real quick. So
Sure.
You ready? All right. So I guess for the first one, I'm curious if there's a particular dish I haven't heard about yet, but is there a particular dish you would consider your favorite food?
A dish? Uh, hmm. My wife makes a mean roast chicken. Uh, maybe spaghetti and meat sauce, maybe something like that. I don't know. Favorite one. I like everything. That's the one. That's the problem. I have like 1,000 favorite dishes.
All of which maybe involve chicken, or maybe something with a good bit of protein.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I'm a meat eater. Not gonna lie.
He's a carnivore at heart.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
All right. That's a good choice.
yeah.
All right. I guess you're real big into the movies and TV shows that you probably consider your favorites.
Probably Breaking Bad. Probably, I love that show. I watched it twice all the way through. I don't know. There's something about it that just. I honestly like these days. I like the series better than a movie because it seems like, when you go back to a movie, they just have to skip so much stuff just to get things told in an hour and a half. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. I seem like I watch a movie and go, just not doing it anymore. Like, Goodfellas maybe was one of my favorites of all time. Like, it's an old one, but I liked it a lot. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was pretty good as a new one. I like anything from Quentin Tarantino as far as movies go. What was that other one there? With Jason Bateman. It was a series. What was that called? I'm just having a brain fart right now. Like they're
What was it about?
Pardon?
What was it about?
They're like they're kind of like criminals in Arkansas there, and they're what the heck was it called now? He was I just can't remember what it's called. I won't get it. I don't know why. It's just like fleeting by. So, but yeah, no, I mostly really like the series type things are really good. I just can't really think of one right off the top of my head, but they're pretty good these days.
Something of Arkansas, though. You know what? I was maybe thinking of Justify, but that is a series, but that was based in Kentucky.
Yeah, I know what one you're talking about. Testify. It wasn't that one.
Justify.
It's gonna come to me. It's like so obvious too. Oh man, I just can't think of it right now.
That's all right though, but I understand. But still, great choices nonetheless. But
It'll probably pop into my head right after we finish.
I was like, no, I remember what it was.
100% that'll happen.
It's gonna happen. Yeah, it came to me in a dream last night.
Yeah.
But you are right in terms of TV shows. You tend to get it's a nice pace, but you also get a lot more involved with the story in that case.
Yeah. And
I would say
it's just that it seems like more authentic almost because they don't have to skip stuff and sort of like like I don't know. It's almost like you have to fill in the blanks sometimes because that's why stuff doesn't seem credible a lot of times. You know what I mean? There's not as many as ifs, I find.
I will say this about Breaking Bad: that third to last episode, Ozymandias. That one, it was good, but man, that one had my heart going. To be honest.
Well, and the thing about it is like, you never knew it was coming up, And as the seasons went on, they got more intense than the season previous. It's just one of those ones. It was something else. I thought I like Better Call Saul too, though. That was good too. I haven't seen that new one that Vince Gilligan's doing because I don't have Apple TV, but that Pluribus, I heard that's good. That's his new one, but I don't know. I haven't seen that.
I mean, hey, he's been living off the hog since Breaking Bad, so I guess he still goes strong. So
yeah,
he goes strong, Vince.
Yeah.
So, all right, all great choices. Not sure if you drink, but if you do you have a favorite alcoholic drink? And then what's your favorite non?
Been drinking 19 Crimes red wine. And you know what? I like that Snoop Dogg wine. And right now in Canada, like they're all banning American wine. It's just dumb. But anyway, we still buy it. We go in there and I'm telling you, like I live in wine country. Like I've down the road from me, I have literally 15 wineries on that road, and they're all like high end, like $70 a bottle and all this stuff. and you buy it, it's just gross. It's like, I don't even like it. And then I buy the $25 19 Crimes. It's just amazing. Like it's really good wine. It really is. And I like Old Milwaukee, the cheap stuff. I do. I like Old Milwaukee. It's like, it's not fancy, but it tastes good. You know?
I guess why not? Why 19 Crimes? Like, why they give it that name? That sounds like it was a mafia brand or something.
No idea why. It's just the Snoop Dogg brand. They just call it. And it's got his picture on the front, and it's got his picture on the cork stamped into it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. My wife
doing something.
She used to be his driver. Like my wife used to drive rock stars around for about 15 years, so she's met like everybody that you can think of. You know, and sometimes she didn't even know she had. Like one time, she's like, "Oh, is there someone in town this week? I just drove someone, and they were talking about Led Zeppelin in the back." And I go, "Yeah, Hart's in town," and I go, "Oh, I think I picked them up." And I go, "Yeah," and I go, "Yeah, that was Jason Bonham." She's like, "Oh, okay." She didn't even know. It's like, what? Yeah. And then I would have to tell her, "Hey, I'm picking up this such a person." So I would like give her a little background, so she'd kind of know how to like what to say or whatever. And I remember one time, my band was actually playing at this show. It's called the Bluff. It's like an outdoor venue, and and Cheap Trick was on the bill, and she was their driver. And I told her, yeah, their drummer's name is Bunny Carlos. I don't think he was actually playing at the time still. And I go, yeah, it's Bunny Carlos. And she goes, oh, okay. And Rick Nielsen's the guitar player and all that stuff. And then when she picked him up, she called Rick Nielsen Bunny. She goes, hi, Bun. And he's like, he got so mad. He's actually offended. Sometimes some of the guys are like super easygoing, like really like laid back, super cool. And some guys not at all. It's like, you know, they like she said, like some of the nicest guys, like Meatloaf was really nice. Kenny Rogers, you know, who else did like? There's just some of them. She says just super nice. Sarah McLachlan, super nice. You know what I mean? They don't act like rock stars or anything like that. They're just really nice. You know what I mean? Most of them are actually kind of like that, especially the older ones. You know, the ones that've been in the game for a long time. You know, it hasn't gone to their head too much, or it has, but it's gone. You know what I mean? Once you've been down the road a bit, you kind of get back to normal, I think, maybe.
Because it was kind of with age and also experience, so you could see why for those people who have at least put the ego down and all that.
Yeah, totally.
So, but good choice with the woman there too. So you caught a good fish, as they would say.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. And she's down with all the band stuff because it's like we're always playing over here, and like this room is like if you were to see it, I'll show you. I still like it's band room, and I got all the boxes still and crap everywhere. You know, I still just got to get rid of all the Pro boxes still because what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use them for cases because I don't have drum cases. So I'm going to make just cut handles in the boxes because they're already the right size and just make drum cases out of the boxes. You know what I mean? Because I can't afford drum cases. And I don't want to wreck everything because you know that's going to happen. First time you take it out, it's going to get scratched. It's going to get dinged up or something like that, you know, and that's the one thing about having something new. That's why I have an old car because I can't afford a new car at all. And if I had one, it would drive me nuts if I was because when I'm loading my gear in there, it's hard on the car. You know what I mean? Because I put all the rack stuff in the back seat. Everything else goes in the trunk. By the time I got my wheelchair and everything in there, I can't even carry a passenger. It's literally loaded to the hilt, you know? So, yeah, like I said, that's my excuse. Oh, that's why I have an old car. It's not because I'm broke ass. I would have a new car if it weren't for all the scratches I would make. Yeah, not true.
Among other things.
So, not a two-stone. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. But nonetheless, great choices there for the drinks. And for the last of the fun questions, what you been listening to recently in terms of music, whether it's mainstream sort of groups, indie, or I guess people who are in between mainstream and indie?
You know, it's weird when it comes to that because I do so much listening for learning purposes because with my cover band, we're always learning about probably 5 songs every 2 weeks because we're just always recycling, so it's constant learning songs and then listening to them and learning them. With my original band, the way we record is the songs are prearranged and recorded. Like we do jams to figure that out. Then we do scrub tracks, like with the guitars and that. So I'm listening to a lot of that stuff. So honestly, most of the listening I do is like more utility based as opposed to just enjoyment. A lot of the stuff I listen to, believe it or not, just like 70s pop and stuff like that. I don't know why. I just like, it's like a guilty pleasure. It's like, you know what I mean? It's just, you don't have to think about it. It's not like, a lot of the prog stuff I find, or like, the heavy duty fusion, it's amazing, but my brain can only handle so much. And then I'm just like, whoa, it's like so overload with, the technicality. And it's like, it's amazing and super unbelievable, but it's not like just to sit back and let your brain relax type of music. You know what I mean? So I like to watch it for inspiration and to watch these freakishly amazing drummers do the stuff that I'll never imagine being able to play. It's always interesting to watch that. I mean, there's a lot of them too, especially these days. You go on there and there's guys that, wow, like some of their technical prowess is, there's many of them, and there's a couple standouts, like, that Grayson Recruitment. Do you know who that is?
Sounds familiar. Names are really big.
You absolutely. He plays with Sepultura right now, but he's a young guy. He's probably, I started watching him probably when he's like 19 or 20, but he's like a big band jazz player, and his left hand like this is faster, I guarantee you, than both your hands together. It's like, it's just insane, and it's not just speed. It's his dynamic and his ability to play is like he does a video on his Instagram where he puts the Buddy Rich solo behind him, and then he copies it note for note with the playing behind him. It's like insanity. You're like, whoa, like he is so amazing. So I look at that just in awe because he's just so good. And I don't know, do you know, he's also a Pearl artist too. They just picked him up. And also LS DePerio is now a Pearl artist. They just signed him. But he's like, it is artistic because he's really, really unbelievably creative in the way that he approaches things, and the stuff that he comes up with is really unbelievable. But he is like looking at like a superstar gymnast or like some type of like extreme athlete. Do you know what I mean? Like, how does a human body do that? It's just like, apparently the guy, like Rick Allen's met him when they were in Spain. Him and Tommy Lee went and met up with him. And he said he's like obsessive. He says it's like he plays for 8 hours a day, like literally learning all that stuff and he's been doing it for years. Because how else do you get to that level of extremeness? You know what I mean? Because do you watch him?
I think it was more of I can't really pronounce it too, but I think it was the guy you had mentioned earlier. It was like Ellis
Taperio Sarbiriano.
Yes, Spiriano, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh man. It's like, well, he's the biggest YouTuber, eh? And the biggest drum guy in the world. And there's a reason. It's like there's nobody like him. Not only that, he does reaction videos and stuff. And he's kind of got the Spanish accent. And man, is he hilarious. Like he's legit like comedy. Like for real. You know what I mean? And you watch it and just the way the sentences that he says and the phrases he comes up with are like really, really entertaining. So he's got the personality too. You know what I mean? And he's got, and the way he comes across in his videos is just, one of a kind, right? There's just that you have to be the top in that game, right? Because there's so many people doing it, right? So, but I recommend, honestly, it's GREYSON, Grayson, like that. And it's Recruitment. I think it's just NKRUTMAN. And look it up on Instagram or YouTube and you'll see the stuff. It will blow your mind. I promise you. You'll go, wow. And it's like that old style jazz, big band style with the really crazy riffs and stuff like that. It's just unbelievable. And he does all the tricks and all that. It's just really, really impressive, But there's, then there's all these, there's so many amazing drummers now. You couldn't even there's a list of 1,000 that you could do that are just in their own way so off the chain, you know. Like so, yeah. There's always someone to humble you. That's for sure. You know, and they're usually like 8 years old.
Those ones bite the most, especially.
Yeah, those ones really bug me. It's like, like I couldn't be that. He's only been playing for a maximum of 8 years. How come I can't play like that after 35? I don't get it. Yeah,
I don't know, but hey,
one of those things.
Just one of those things.
Yeah.
All right, great choices there, nonetheless.
Yeah.
All right, so Jeff, we're down to one more question in my podcast. Before we jump into it, would you like to ask me a question real quick?
Yeah. What about your bands that you play with and stuff like that, and your YouTube channel? What stuff do you like doing most?
Well, in terms of YouTube, I go with the heavy metal, that sort of stuff, and a couple classic rock ones. I did a couple from Van Halen, and then there was the extreme metal. It was actually one of each. It was one from Van Hagar, one from Van Roth, as they jokingly say. So it was my dad's personal favorite from Van Roth was "Ain't Talking About Love." First album, yeah. And then Love Walks In from the 5150 album.
Oh yeah, awesome.
So, yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, I love Van Halen. He's one of my favorite drummers, to be honest. Always has been. I saw them in 1984. Their last tour. It was so loud. You couldn't even understand what song they were playing. I'm not even joking. Like they were playing Unchained. I remember going in there. What? It was just like so loud. It was just unbelievable. You know what I mean? Like you couldn't even discern the song. That was the 80s though. So what about bands? You play in different bands and stuff?
I call them studio bands because we're not going out doing any shows or anything like that. But I'm in currently two. A third one's on hold, and then this other fourth one, I'm kind of waiting for music to come in. I'm just kind of helping out with that one. But the two main ones, kind of doing like session drumming work for that fourth one there. But the two that I'm actively in is my own project called Demiurge. I do the drums and vocals for that one.
Vocals too! Wow.
Yeah.
Do you sing and play at the same time?
No, I don't think I could ever do that, to be honest.
I know, me neither. I don't know how people do that. It's incredible.
It's just one of those, you need the microphone in the right spot. And you just, or maybe just like the headset.
It's just the coordination too, I think. It's weird. I don't know. Like some people can do it. I mean, but it doesn't look very easy to me.
And it's not supposed to be.
No, so. It's not supposed to be. I'll never know because I suck at doing so. Yeah. What kind of kit are you using right now?
It's a Roland set. It's electric. It's Roland VAD 706. So,
nice.
But that's what I use. Sorry.
How many piece?
There is 3 toms, the 2 main ones, and then a floor tom.
Yeah.
It's one bass, but I use a double kick pedal.
Oh yeah.
And then at the moment I have 2 crashes, 1 ride, 1 hi-hat, and then 2 chinas. And I got a friend of mine is actually giving away 3 other triggers. So I think I'm gonna see what I could use those ones for.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I actually have a Roland trigger I'm trying to incorporate just to use for side stick, because you know when I play with my left hand having a switch like this, like going to like this, it's hard to do a accurate side stick because I have to go like this, pull it off, and then put it on the snare at the same time, and then click it. You know what I mean? So I was thinking if I could have a trigger instead of doing that sort of thing, I could just play it like I normally play my snare drum and still have the side stick sound, you know. But I'm trying to figure. I have it sitting over there. It's been there for about a year, but it's probably the same kind of trigger you're thinking about. It's like kind of like a little curved thing. Yeah. It's probably the same thing. I got to figure a spot for that thing, I think.
But the 2 parts.
What do you got coming up? Like you're just doing a lot of recording and stuff like that, or you mostly doing covers and stuff?
I've been just doing a lot of covers at the moment, but that's mainly for the YouTube channel. But the 2 projects, it's Demiurge and Nocturnal Monarch. Those are 2 I'm actively in. So,
we'll have to exchange some because I got you on Facebook there, so I can, if you want, I can send you different stuff. Because I have Most of my stuff is on unlisted. I probably got 200 videos on there that I just, because I use it. The thing about the YouTube is good. It's this amazing resource because like every single performance that I do with my bands, I record every one, and then I put it up on unlisted, and then send it, and then you can critique your performance, and then it's unlimited storage, right? So it doesn't matter how many you put up there. You don't have to save it on your hard drive. You always have it there. I wouldn't put it up like for public consumption, most of it, but at least it's there for like a good way of sharing large files, as opposed to like a Google Drive where you got to open it or download it. You can just send a link, so that's what I find YouTube. That's what I use it most for, actually, because even though I wasn't posting public videos, I was doing a lot of that other stuff, and still do, because it's just such a useful tool,
That's one way to cheat the system in a way, like doing the unlisted videos and kind of using the storage and all that.
No, I do. Yeah. And then I can send them around and go, oh, check this part out here or whatever. Or like, when we do like a full concert, I don't want to edit the whole thing. So I just record it and just upload the whole thing, so you can watch like your 3-hour thing where no one's going to want to watch your 3-hour cover band show. You know what I mean? But so it's just like, so we can like check out our own mistakes and stuff that we want to change and stuff like that,
Yeah, it's clever. That's one way to do it. So, okay. Anything else real quick?
I don't think I think we covered quite an hour and 45. Wow. We were talking a long time. Time flies when you're having fun, buddy?
Absolutely. That's how it always goes. But we do have one more question left, but here's how I'll word it. So, given the amount of negativity that you've been seeing going on in the world these days, whether through the news, word of mouth, or whatever, these days, I feel like people need some sort of hope. So what would be your message of hope for musicians and people out there so they can move forward with their lives?
Message of hope. Well, the politics thing is really divisive because, especially in the internet age, most people who are on a divided side actually have the same wants and needs and thoughts, but they get siloed into whatever the algorithm throws at you, and that sort of that's basically what everyone's worldview is based on, it seems like these days, and why I find there's probably so much division. So I think that music is one of those things that you don't have controversy with, and it lets you forget about that kind of stuff and just think that we're all, we should all be coming together and not be so divided. I find that division in our society really disturbing, and it never used to be that way. And I just think that music is one of the few things that can bring people together. When you go to a concert, you're not sitting there worried about who voted for who and who's did this and all this kind of crap. You know what I mean? So I think, and like my band Life's new album is specifically non-political and no message, just good old rock and roll like the 80s. You know what I mean? Go and have a good, it's literally what we're doing purposefully, not trying to get a message across or trying to convince anyone of anything. It's just trying to keep, a positive message and just one of unity. You know what I mean? Like that's what I really like to see society get back to, and just none of this. Cause like you said, there's just too much hatred going around every direction and it's not cool, So that would be my message about that. Just that music to bring people together and make it be a happy thing.
Absolutely. And spoke like a true prodigy, to quote Quentin Tarantino. So,
so you're good at that. See, I can't remember quotes. That's one of my things. I can't remember lyrics. Like I don't even remember the lyrics to my own band songs. It's one weird thing. That's why another reason I could never be a singer. I barely know "Oh Canada." Been singing it since I was a little kid.
It's like the equivalent of Pledge of Allegiance that they would always have you do. Put your hand over your heart and just stand up in class. So
yeah. It's like I get halfway through and it's like, then I'm just improvising. Okay.
Yeah. No one will notice. Hey, we made it this far about.
No. Yeah.
All right. But Jeff, we have reached the end of the podcast right here. We talked, I think it's going to be an hour and 50 some minutes right here. But nonetheless, would you like to give any shouts to anybody real quick?
Shout outs. Like, I'd like to give a shout out to you. Do you mean like YouTube channels?
If you want to, if you made YouTube channels like other drummers, personally, or
Yeah,
I
like
know we talked about Rich and that sort of stuff, but
Freddie
yeah.
Green and Chris Moe and uh, Kelly Kusamoto, Rich Raw Dog. Um, I haven't been on there a long time, but these are all guys that I've known quite a while that I've, you know, um, I'm having just a little bit of a brain fart, all the different ones. There's so many people that I met on there, it's hard to remember them all. But do you know Trey B? Trey
Trey,
Bledsoe?
Trey Bledsoe, yeah.
Yeah, he's a super cool guy. I've known him for a while too. He's been off the YouTube for a while now because he's touring with his Guns N' Roses band. It's like a good one too. Like they do really sick gigs. Like they do like mid-level, like not arena, but just below that. So that's pretty sick for a tribute band. They're really good. And he had like some of the ones he plays and has members from like Adler's with I can't remember what they call Adler's something. He has like a Guns N' Roses sort of tribute deal or whatever. So yeah, he's doing well. Kelly's always been a good friend that I've known for a while. But there's so many out there. It's like I've been off it that for a while, so I'm not even sure of who the new guys are out there. There's probably like so many more that you're more aware of than me, I bet. So I'm going to have to get out there and just do a little bit more of an exploration coming up. Try and find, because it's hard to divide your time up when you have so many things to do. There's only so much time in a day. So you kind of have to prioritize, sort of a thing. And that's the only reason. The reason I think with the YouTube too is like I had so many YouTube friends that I didn't want to just keep up with some and then not others. I decided it would be easier just to leave it alone, because otherwise, like, you're gonna offend people, or it's like, why you look at that guy's and not mine? Like, I like you both, but I don't have time to do like 100 different ones or 200 different ones. You know what I mean? It's like they're all awesome, but so I just sort of just step back for a bit, because of what I was doing in life. It's just one of those things. But I mean, I still love going on there and catching up and see what everyone's doing. Drumman, Drumman 190. Yeah.
Yep, Drumman 190. Yep. Oh, man.
Yeah. I've known him, for instance, in the very beginning. I'll give him a shout out too, because I haven't talked to him for a while, but he's always been super supportive of me. And my very first video I ever put up was Limelight. That was my very first, not this Limelight, but I did it before. And he had a contest, and I actually won that contest, and he was the one who reached out to do it. So I have a soft spot for him. I've done some collabs with him and stuff like that too. And that's a guy who he's never given up on it. He's just relentless. He's been like steadily putting out videos for like 9 years, probably, something like that. A lot of people I don't think have that much staying power for. I mean, a few guys do. I mean, Rich has been putting out videos forever. And I don't know how long you've been on there for. I just met you. How long have you been doing it?
I'd say since 2020, the YouTube channel started with like just drum covers.
That's a long time.
So
yeah, that's a while, man. Anything you do for 6 years, that's something to say for that. That's for sure.
6 years after February, so yeah, it's been 6 years. So
yeah, that's a good haul.
Oh yeah. All right. Yeah, just real quick for the audience sake, can you just list what social media and I guess streaming platforms that your music's on?
Yeah, I'm Jeff Elwood on Facebook. I do have a wheelchair one, but I don't keep up with it. So it's Jeff Elwood on Facebook and also Jeff Elwood on Instagram. That's the only two that I do. I'm not on TikTok yet. People have told me to go on TikTok, but I just haven't done it yet. I don't know if I will or not. Are you on there?
You know what? I am on there. I got to post a little bit more. I got some videos and some of the stuff I got to use to like help promote Nocturnal Monarch and Demiurge as well. So
right. Yeah, I just haven't done it yet. I just, like I said, I really have to do a better job at that. That's one of my things that I severely lack at, is the social media, but I'm going to have to start doing a better job, especially now that I'm endorsed by Pearl and stuff like that. Like, they want me to get out there and then tagged them and I got like their watermarks and stuff like that I have to start doing. So I'm going to have to just, get my mind to it and start getting a routine and, so that I can do it more efficiently. You know what I mean? It's like when you don't have a system in place, it's kind of random here and there, and it's not really an efficient way of going about it. But I am going to definitely try to do better when it comes to that.
Absolutely. And good luck this year of all that, especially with the group there, Jeff. So,
Thank you, brother.
all right. But
I really appreciate that, Brian.
hold up. I have to close out like this. So, everyone, my guest today was Jeff Elwood. He's out from British Columbia up there in Canada. Hey, that whole deal. Yeah. All right. But he's actually part of a group Life, but he also has a Pink Floyd tribute band, as well as a cover band as well. So make sure you hit him up on socials, all streaming platforms. So let's go help our brother out right there too. And keep your eyes out for the documentary. I know we mentioned in this interview. We don't know.
Rhythm of Resilience is what it's going to be called.
Rhythm of Resilience. Okay.
Yeah. You bet.
ROR. So yeah.
And that's what we call it. Yeah, that's our short term. Our roar. Yeah.
Roar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right. But keep your eyes open for that. All right. But nonetheless, Jeff. But you do say safe.
And stay in touch.
I will. But you do say safe.
You too.
Rock on. And last thing, strike a pose. Stay tuned, y'all.
Right on. You have a good one, brother.
All right.